So I'm Rosario Di Lorenzo, and I'm in charge of the global partner and the sales organization here at AnalyticsCreator. And I'm very pleased that I have two guests with me today who are very happy to talk about AnalyticsCreator and above all the technical guy, which I will introduce in seconds. So I would like to introduce Bhagat, founder of Analytics, and I would say enthusiast, BI enthusiast since more than 50 years. Welcome, Bhagat. Oh, you're on mute.
Same mistake. Hi, everyone. Pleasure to meet you all, and looking forward to give you a nice show here.
Thank you, Bhagat. And of course, we have Nazar with us. Which is a BI consultant with extensive expertise in data management. Welcome, Nazar, and happy that you're with us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to show you the demo today.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nazar. So I would say, so before we move into the demo, I just have two slides for you. So let me just check something on my end, and yes, so AnalyticsCreator is located in Munich since 2017, and we are in the data automation domain since kind of over 16 years. And what is really particulars, I would say, on AnalyticsCreator is that it is really a collection of real projects, and our partner, through the feedback, really made sure that AnalyticsCreator is one of those tools based really on experience. So so far we could satisfy more than 820 users worldwide, and with the help of 50 value-added partner, we were able to create and fulfill more than above 8,000 projects worldwide. So thank you for all those that really help us to be successful. Maybe one comment on AnalyticsCreator, what it is, or what AnalyticsCreator does, is it really automate your design and development, the design and development of your data platform. It's really starting with ingestion, starting with the transformation, code get written behind, the documentation, all these things that mostly data engineers does like to do, like pipeline cleansing and pipeline management. All these kind of things get managed or automated by AnalyticsCreator. So while you do transformation, or while you connect first the data, you will see with an Nazar. So while you connect the data, you get a first representation of AnalyticsCreator, a running prototype, I would say. And while he started then make some change, it generates a kind of so-called artifacts much faster than any other manual method. And maybe, let me just add one more thing, which I'm super proud to say. When I talk about AnalyticsCreator, AnalyticsCreator is probably worldwide the only vendor lock-in free technology in the industry, which means really whatever AnalyticsCreator generates for you, we believe it should be for you. It should stay in your company forever. So this is very important. So even though you do not pay the subscription, the code created is still running, and you can use and expand the way you want. So then I would say Nazar, the stage is yours, right? And we are all excited to see how this tool looks like, and simply go on.
Thank you. I will share my screen. Hopefully you can see it.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to start by outlining what we will cover in this demo. We will add data from a data set that is called Northwind, and we will use it in AnalyticsCreator to create an architecture for the data warehouse, and finally we will deploy it. And let's begin by introducing my setup so you can reproduce everything what I'm doing here. I'm using SQL Server 2022 as my management system. I use SQL Server Management Studio, and as you can see, I already have the Northwind data. This is everything what I have right now. So I have nothing prepared. I will do everything from scratch. And one more thing to emphasize is that AnalyticsCreator is on-premise, so you have to download and install it. I have it on my machine, so I will just log in. And one more thing is that you can specify the database where you store the repository. And the repository is basically the place where you store all metadata or anything that you create. So let's log in. And you can see the GUI right now. It's quite simple. It's functional. You can see that we can create connections, a new repository here and a connection here. And later we will then deploy everything. But basically this is it. On the left side, we will see the elements of the data warehouse when we create a new repository, which I'm going to do right now. Let's call it webinar. So while it's running, let's have a also look in our database. I will refresh database. And now we see that we created a repo webinar, as I call it, as I named it webinar, and it's called now repo webinar. And when it's finished, we're going to see the folders on the left side. Perfect. Now you can see the elements of the data warehouse. We don't have much right now because we need to add the Northwind dataset. And we can do that by creating a new connector. And now we can add the connector type first. It's my MySQL database, so keep it as it is right now, and we only add the server and the database. Copy it real quick. So I will replace server with my server. It is running locally, and the database, as I showed you, is Northwind. And now let's test the connection. Perfect, it's successful. Now we can save it after we give it a name. Now we have the connection to the database, and we can import the tables or the metadata of the tables by using the data warehouse wizard, which is one of the main functions of AnalyticsCreator. And you can do that by selecting the connector. Now you can see all tables that are in our database, in our Northwind dataset. And you can also specify the data warehouse type, but I'm using Classic right now. So let's begin by selecting a few tables. For me, it's employees, employee territories, and take orders and order details. So what I'm going to do with this, let me also show you how you can use these tables to create a dashboard. And what kind of dashboard? At the end, we want to use the Northwind data to create the sales by territory. That means we need the territories and we need the total sales. Come to this. AnalyticsCreator also gives you the opportunity to historize your data, and this is the checkbox here right now. And the dimension is for all tables right now, but I will uncheck the checkbox for order details because I want to use it as my fact table. Next, we have the name conventions. I'm going to keep it as it is, but I want to mention that it also takes time to discuss these things with colleagues, so it's nice to have that AnalyticsCreator just does that for you. Next, we can specify more things about the calendar dimension, but again, I will keep everything as it is, and I will just say finish. Now, the architecture is going to be implemented by AnalyticsCreator. Perfect. I will zoom in. So, what do we see right now? It's basically the visualization of our data warehouse of the architecture. There are the layers. There are the source layer, staging, the core, and the data mart layer. We see that as we defined, our fact table is order details, and yeah, now we can go inside the elements and do some more specifications or add things. First, I want to show you how you could filter, for example. Let's say you want to filter orders. You go inside here and you specify filters, for example. I'm not going to do that. I'm going inside my fact table and add some more things. Right now, we see only the foreign key of order details and orders, but we want to add some more foreign keys. You see the tables here, you see the columns here of the fact table, and you see the references here. This is everything what we need. At the end, when you add things or create new columns, you will basically change the code that is running, that is implemented by AnalyticsCreator and executed in SQL, but we're working here. So first, let's add our first table. It is employees, and we take the staging table. Then click Save. Another one is employee territories. Click Save. And at the end, the territories. Now we have the tables, but we also need to specify how they are connected. And we can do that by adding references. First, let's add the reference with the sequence number. The sequence number you can see here in the tables. The sequence number for employees, it's 3, and it's connected with the orders. So we can now add one foreign key. The second one is employee territories. So sequence number 4, and it's connected with table 3. And the last one, the territories, which is connected with employee territories. And as you can see, the resulting join is automatically generated. So if we put here the foreign key, you can see that this is automatically generated. So now we have our references, we have our tables. What we need is to add some more columns to our fact table. First, let's add the foreign keys that we specified. We also have the sequence number here, so you can say the sequence number 3 means we are going inside table 3, and now we can see the columns of table 3. What we need is the foreign key, so we take this one and call it foreign key employees. I will do that for all foreign keys real quick. So now we have our foreign keys in our fact table. Let's add some more columns. I will add from the order details, the quantity. Then I will add also from details the unit price, and you probably know right now what I'm going to do. I want to calculate the total, but I'm also adding the discount. And now I can use these columns by saying I'm defining a new column, total price, and I can calculate it by adding a statement. And the references for the statement is quite simple. You take the table alias if you want to reference a table, and then the name of the column. So T1 unit price multiplied by T1 dot quantity multiplied by 1 minus T1 discount. So this is basically our total price. Let's save it. One more thing, I want to add the calendar dimension. We can also use a macro that gives us our the ID for the calendar by using just the orders. Let's take orders and then order date. And if you wanted to use a macro, you can do it like this. You say add date to ID, and then T2 for the table 2, and order date for our column, the order date. Let's save this. Oh, sorry. I will synchronize, and you can see now the connections from the other tables to the fact table, because we added references, we added the tables. So this is going to run checks, and now we can see in our fact order details, there's everything specified except the order date. Let me do it again. So we have
careful, it's order ID, it's not order date.
Oh, thank you. So date to ID. T1 dot order date. Let's also give it a name, foreign key. Right, let's go back to our home and one more synchronization. Now we are going to see that we have a connection from the dimension calendar to the fact table. And if you have any errors or if you had a typo, then you can see it here and you can open it. So, order date, I did a typo.
It's T2.
Oh, T2, yeah, right. Thank you. Now we can save it. But this is a perfect example how you can debug your data warehouse.
Exactly. Thank you for emulating that.
Yeah. Now it's everything is fine, and let's have a last look at it. We defined the tables, we defined our references, we defined our new columns. Now we can go on and deploy it. So you click on the menu deploy, then deploy package, create a new deploy package. And here you can first specify where to add the database that we are going to create and what files are generated. For now, I'm going to use the SSIS file. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a flow how you create the whole pipeline, the whole ETL pipeline with it, and we will later execute that file to get the data from the Northwind data set and transform it and then get it into a new database. So let's start with choosing a name, webinar deploy. Then it's going to save the folder that is going to be created in my desktop, and I will also deploy Duckpack. We'll set variables and environmental variables. And you also have more options. You can create multidimensional OLAP or tabular OLAP, but for now we'll only use the SSIS file. So let's deploy it. And while it's running, it takes a little bit of time, but it's fine because we saved so much time just creating this whole architecture in seconds that it's fine for me. We can go inside our database and refresh it. Now we should see that the architecture is also saved here. So DWH webinar is our data house that we created.
While it's loading, could you just open the database so that we can see how the schema looks like?
Yes, I will show it. So now we're done. So it's saved here on my desktop. And we go back to our schema. This is what we implemented. And let's see what we got. So as I said, when you go inside one of these elements, in the background there is SQL running with joins and select.
Nazar, if you wanted to add something extra, you can do that. So if you want to add additional line code or change the view.
Yes,
yeah,
also true.
Yeah. So
do some reverse engineering. Now I opened the file webinar deploy dt-proj. It contains our workflow and our import webinar connector 1. I will show you what that means. So basically this is what we are going to execute for our ETL process. It looks like this, and it also contains the import webinar connector. You can have a look at it too. This contains the process to get the tables and to transform them. So I think we're ready to execute. Looking good, everything green. That means everything was fine with the process.
Yoo-hoo.
And I will first show you in the database what we did. Then we compare it to what we did in AnalyticsCreator. So let me refresh. So in our database, as we defined, I defined the database webinar. And when we go inside, we see first our tables, the different stages. So we also wanted to historize the tables. And then we also see under views that we created this fact order details. Let me select a few rows. And this is basically what we defined in our fact table. So we defined the foreign keys, we defined the quantity, unit price, discount, total price, and we also added the foreign key for the order date. This is how it looks in the database. And let me go back to our AnalyticsCreator. This is what we implemented. This is how quick you can create a data warehouse, and everything what we did was inside here. Didn't take a long time, so I think it's a quite good result for that time. And now when we go to our dashboard, we could take this data that I showed you right before and just put it inside this dashboard, Power BI dashboard, and you will get everything done very quick. So I'm
Great.
Done, and I give the word back to Rosario. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazar. Great job.
Awesome.
Well, so Bhagat might want to comment. What happened?
Very nice. Thanks, Nazar. Just to summarize, what have we just experienced here? What did you see here? I mean, we have seen a presentation, a live demo from a consultant of my team, who's a software developer, who's working in the backend. Yeah, so I said, okay, I don't want to have a pre-sales consultant, a sales guy who just is here and presenting amazing stuff. I just wanted to show you how the team really works. Yeah, and what did we just see here? We just saw speed. And why is that important for us? It's important because I'm also working as an analyst, and I know as an analyst it's important to get accurate data at a certain quality from a let's say trusted source. What I see out there currently happening with Power BI, Tableau, and all the other stuff, let it be Excel also, you use multiple sources, connect to everything, and then you're wondering why you have a different result than your neighbor. So I still believe, and it's also relevant for the future, that the data warehouse or the data warehouse concept is relevant to get a corporate data platform. And many people out there are really scared because they think of a data warehouse as a huge project. And it was like that in the past. I used to work on a project with 30 consultants for a year to get a data warehouse at an energy enterprise. But that's not the case any longer. We have now, with AnalyticsCreator, the possibility to build the data warehouse concept within minutes. Yeah, that's what we just see here. Okay, we just connected, let's say, one source. But imagine what we have seen here is an SAP source at the end of the day. Yeah, we connected to the SAP build the schema, and then we just run this data set, let it be a test system, and within minutes, we got the data, which can then be used from the analyst, which I am one of, right? So then I can present to the management, to the stakeholders, so on, and show the real numbers, which then have really good data quality. We have a concept, we have accurate insight, and we can run it day by day, within days, and so on. So that's one of the reasons why OIC Analytics looked for solutions which can help us to execute faster. And like I said before, 15 years ago, it took years. Now we are more like in weeks, a month, but with AnalyticsCreator, we get into days. And I think this is pretty awesome. What we also have seen here is, beside of the speed, why do we have the speed? You don't have to click around every let's say, within technology. I'm using SSIS, I'm using Azure Data Factory, and you know where the hidden functions are. You have to look for, then you have to use nowadays ChatGPT or Google and see, hey, how can I deal with ABC? And here within that platform, you get one user interface with all the checkpoints you really need for the data warehouse. Nazar just opened it, and for me as an also data engineer, let's say from background, I really saw a lot of, let's say, small check marks, which look pretty small, but have huge power. Even in the deployment, we just saw, hey, he deployed the SSIS job, and a lot of people are thinking now, hey, we'd like to move to the cloud. What happens now to our concept? With one click, we could just deploy to Azure Data Factory. And this is pretty awesome, I think. That's how I would summarize what we have just seen here. Yeah? A few words to our company, Rosario. Yeah?
Yep.
Who are we and why I'm so excited? OIC is a data-driven company. So we deliver consultancy in terms of BI and CPM. That means we help enterprises to see and understand their data. And to do so, we have a lot of technology partners, as you can see, like Microsoft, Tableau, Profix, Jedox, and so on. But with AnalyticsCreator, we get into a driver's seat where we can run faster and deliver the data. Yeah? And a lot of times, data is just, let's say, the hidden champion. The data engineers are just running behind the analysts, and everyone is, hey, why doesn't my dashboard look so nice? The figures are not correct. And then the data engineer is like the mechanical and has to repair everything. But with the AnalyticsCreator, we can put you and us in a better position. And to do so, we have around about 20 active consultants working across the globe. We are located in Germany, but we have clients in Italy, in France, Luxembourg, even in US and India. We are supporting here and there some projects. The company was founded in 2018, though we have experience over the past decade because we have a high seniority level in our team. And Great. This is also our customer base, as you can see on the right hand side. If you would like to know more about that, we can talk afterwards. But how do we approach in our projects? I think that's more important. We have a three-step concept. We always start with we'd like to prove that we can deliver. Like what we have seen here. So how does that happen? We talk to you or to our clients and say, hey, well, we'd like to implement an idea. Yeah. And this idea is something what we have just seen. Let's think about, hey, you have a challenge with, for example, your sales data. You cannot figure out how to process it properly with all the rules and so on. And then, well, what we do in our team is let's try to crack it. Let's find a way how we can deal this. And we build together this domain knowledge, implement this with AnalyticsCreator and this data warehouse concept, and build the pipelines within, let's say, one working day. And at the end of the day, we deliver, let's say, a dashboard, which then hopefully, let's say, shows the real figures of your company. And once, okay, you are now happy and say, well, that was awesome. I'd like to see more. What happens to the second step? The second step is basically a pilot project, which is something like, for example, let's step into the domain financial data. And nowadays, a lot of people or organizations talk about the data mesh concept. So each department or each domain has their own responsibility. So let's start with one. Let's go into financial data and connect to all relevant data like SAP, Salesforce, Personio in European market is quite spread it, or Sage, or whatever system you have, right? We connect to this data, build the data platform with our clients. We deliver the data marts, which are relevant for the financial department and the management. And the important thing is now, it's not like in the past we used to have like 3 consultants on your side, and we remain there for the next 20 years. Yeah, the time is over. It's up to you that we train you guys. Yeah, you have to be in the driver's seat, and later on we will support. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, we also build an optional CFO reporting, let's say, set within Power BI, Tableau, whatever the client already has. And if it's a greenfield, then we help you also to find the right solution to put the to connect to this data. Yeah? And third but not least, yeah, now you are really proud of what we have achieved within the pilot, and now it's time to scale. Yeah? There are a lot of more people in the organization who really need data to get more efficiency to scale, and we use the same concept in the other domains. Either it's the production, supply chain, procurement, sales, marketing, etc., etc. I think the basic understanding is you can do this, let's say, in a time span within, let's say, 6 to 12 months. We can scale this whole thing out within a huge organization. This is a pretty important thing to understand. As you can see on top, if we start, for example, in July with the proof of concept, and we start then the pilot, we can execute, though we have the summer holidays from August to October, within 2 months, you already have a successful pilot which is usable in the organization, and then we can just think about how we can scale. Yeah?
Great. Thank you, Bhagat, for this summary, and thank you, Nazar, for the great the demonstration. It was really clear for me, and I could understand everything as a non-technician.